is happening, fellow fantasy GMs? I am JJ Wang. He is the bearded one, DJ Dub. And with our powers combined, we are the Fantasy Couriers.
Well, JJ Wang, it is week 8. We're going to see if we can get through this. We love Courier Nation so much that my day went to garbage. You had to work late. We're recording about 3 hours past your bedtime. So JJ Wang's eyes are barely open, and he is going to get through this. We're going to struggle through. Luckily, football keeps us awake a little longer. And I don't know. Last couple weeks I've been so tired. I've been falling asleep on these night games. I fell asleep on the Dolphins game. They were done.
I haven't watched the night game in probably 4 years, so I don't that's why I kind of like the earlier games in the beginning of the year. I got to watch at least the halftime.
Wow, I got through them. Then I'm like, I'm struggle. But yeah, I'm still getting over the Sunday game. But the Patriots, I'm a Patriots fan for a week. They did what they had to do to keep us one game up. That's all.
That's true. That didn't go as planned. And then the Monday night game didn't go as planned as well. I'm still really confused about what happened to the 49ers. And evidently Purdy is injured and Sam Darnold might get the start. So
It's coming. It's coming.
That's how it always happens in San Francisco. Quarterback injuries are always a big part of their year.
So let's jump in. We'll start with a couple listener questions here. Jared sent one with like his lineup, and I'm not going to go through it. I'll send him some notes later on. I'll text him or something. But Jared, speaking of with Purdy out, he's got this amazing, talented quarterback room. So he had Purdy, who we feel good about. So the question is, does he play Sam Darnold, Bryce Young, or Jimmy Schmaropolo? Well, I know who it's not. So does he play Sam Darnold or Bryce Young in Superflex?
I really, really want to say Sam Darnold here just because it's a quarterback and Kyle Shanahan offense. And it just seems like it could be one of those things where Sam Darnold looks cool and good enough to get him a new contract or something next year or something crazy like that. I really want to say Darnold, but it's like, I don't know. What do you...
I want to say I picked up Darnold in a couple of leagues in the preseason because he was looking so good in the 49ers offense, and it's so tempting, and it's one of those, do I get cute or do I go with Bryce Young in the battle of the top 2 draft picks? That's the real challenge of the week. Is Bryce Young had a good game against Miami, but Miami's been giving up points to quarterbacks.
He has.
He's a little better.
He's been looking okay. He's had his moments, but you know what? Me being the biased fantasy football player that I am and love the 40, I'd probably end up starting Sam Darnold just so I can be like, look, I told you so. Sam Darnold finally did it.
If your choices are Bryce Young, Darnold, and he's got Badgett too, in case Badgett, I missed Badgett in there, or Jimmy G. I agree with you. I would start Darnold. You're looking at the guy on the better team with the better offense. He can throw the ball towards a direction, and there's 3 very talented players that could score a touchdown there. So I'm with you. I'd go Darnold. Rich out of Philly, go D-backs. If he sends me any more memes about the Dolphins being beat by the Eagles, I think I'm gonna start sending him D-backs memes because I know that'll really get him good.
He's probably still a little heated over that. Probably
that's my only jab. I didn't send you any messages, but man. Now we're square. Okay, your Eagles beat my Dolphins, and they both look terrible, by the way. They won by 14, but they didn't look that sharp. I was surprised. I thought they'd really obliterate them. But he asked, will Olave play after being arrested?
I think he will. I don't think anything's been said yet, but I think he plays.
He's an NFL player, right? It's just
that is true. He will play.
Yeah, I don't think he will be he was driving super fast because he's a knucklehead. I think he's actually the guy I wrote up for my article of buy now because he's wide receiver 20-ish, depending on your scoring. And it's not been spectacular. You went at wide receiver 1, but right now the news of him being arrested for driving too fast because he's young, that's going to have some people willing to trade him. I would go out and see if I can pick him up because talent wins. Even with terrible quarterback play, talent wins. He's going to play. I'd play him. You can't not, right? Yeah. And then Felipe's asking Javonte Williams or Ramondre. So Ramondre versus Miami and Javonte at home against Kansas City.
This is kind of a tough one. Javante looks okay
Look good
and
last.
spurts from time to time. Like last week, he looked pretty good. Ramondre's been scoring a little better the last 2 weeks. You know what? I'd probably go Javante. I'm just not sure about the Patriots offense. It's too inefficient.
Yeah, that's where I'm leaning. And Jared had his lineup here, and Jared, I'd say go with what you got. His lineup's been struggling. He's got Bryce Young, he's got Kamara and Henderson, Evans, Thielen, Hollywood, not too shabby. Mark Andrews, and he's got Palmer and Calvin Ridley. Calvin Ridley is his super flex player currently. That's how bad it is. So would you play Calvin Ridley or Badgett Garoppolo
Uh, so I'd probably, I'd probably go Badgett just because Ridley will give you like 2 points.
or Eddie DeMarcado or Lat Murray or Zeke?
I don't. Uh, Demarcado. I thought we wanted to go through the total roster here.
I pulled it up while I was trying to stall for some time to push a button, but I was like, man,
Yeah, I'd probably go Demarcado there. I don't know. That's a good team.
well, my system is not working, so there will be no drop for game by game preview. So no use for me to stall anymore. So we're gonna jump
All
into game
right.
by game preview as my mixing here on my computer is crashed. Let us go game by game preview. Womp, 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 womp. So let's go through the week that is, and this is one of the two interesting weeks. I don't know if we've had this in recent years where there are 2 weeks that are not towards the end of the year where there are no buys. This week there is not a buy, and then you get back
That
to week
makes
12.
that makes sense. While I was looking at the games, and I was like, "There's so many games this week." That makes sense now.
Yeah, I thought it was just quite. It was the weirdest thing I've ever seen. I was like, "What?" Because I'm a fan. I think what they should do instead is they should have like a middle of the year buy for everybody. So you do 8 weeks, buy, do the stretch run. Just send everybody out. That would be give everybody equal healing, equal sharing. We take a week off of the season. That families can go out. You can get to know who your kids are again on a Sunday afternoon. Stuff like that. It's
That's not important.
yeah, I know, but and I'm sorry, Mike here, my guy. I've had one just pop up that I missed, so apologies to Mike. But he said, "Hey, here, he's the coin flipper Mac, the guy I did the coin flip for. Well, has his thoughts on one RB toss up this week? I told him I'd use his little clever toss. He's got Big King Henry or Jamar, not a member of the BG's Gibbs. Do I buy into last game's impressive stat line and weak Raiders D?" And roll Gibbs, or would we go with the straight jacket roll up to take me away from benching the King? So King Henry or Jameer
I mean, the
Gibbs?
fact that you got to bench one of these guys is pretty crazy, right?
That means you got Jameer probably late and Henry like early, and you could have Henderson. You could have gotten someone off the wire that one of those early young backs.
I might go Gibbs here. I don't think Montgomery's not going to be back. I mean, he got a majority of the work, and he looked pretty impressive
Mhm.
on Sunday. And Henry's been struggling. He's had a game here and there, but otherwise, he's not been who we thought. But I mean, I might go with the young guy and go with Gibbs here, just for the maybe the home run hit here.
I'm with Gibbs. I just don't. He's tied for second with most targets per game in running backs behind Kamara. So yeah, and we'll talk about reason why I agree with you about Henry as we go through game by game preview. So Thursday night, Buccaneers Bills. You might listen to this before or after Bucks and the Bills. Well, we're looking here. The Bills are 4-3.
A little
Is
disappointing.
Are we worried about players on this team, or we're starting the two studs? Cook's been doing good.
I mean,
Are any
I think we're worried about pretty much everybody on the team not being like the elite prospect, the elite talent that we thought they were. I mean, like I said, Diggs is doing okay, but we all thought Diggs would be a little better. I mean, Josh Allen, I don't sometimes just looks dreadful more than he should. You're a little worried there, but at the end of the day, they're still, high end assets, and you're going to be happy that you have them. But yeah, you're a little disappointed all the way around.
The Bucks are not a great defense, but they're not a terrible defense. So they'll give them a little bit of a fight there as we're going. Baker Mayfield has been proving some people wrong, in me, right? He's questionable to a smidge, so it'll be interesting to see. But in this game, Rashad White's a guy that gets volume more so, and Cook gets more. He plays for the Bills, gets some catches and whatnot, and still volume. But which of those guys? How close are these two guys?
I think they're pretty much on the same, or pretty even. I mean, I don't think you can trust either one. I think Cook. I'd probably prefer Cook. I mean, I think he's had. I don't know. Yeah, I'd probably just prefer Cook because I like him better. But
I like him better
with
with you.
the, I mean, that's pretty much how that one rolls.
Texans and Panthers. Which quarterback comes out looking better?
Um, uh, who was it? What was the other one?
Bryce Young and C.J. Stroud. It's a battle of the
For the
battle of the
Panthers.
rookies.
I think the CJ Stroud would be better. I think he's had a better season so far. Might as well just go with what we've seen. Houston seems to be a little better on the right path. Even though Bryce Young the last couple of weeks has been putting up better fantasy numbers, and Adam Thielen has been pretty impressive, way better than I thought. But I'll still go CJ Stroud here.
Yeah, that's the irony. Texans are 3-3. Panthers are 0-6, and I think in this game there are probably 4 or 5 viable fantasy starters. You're going to look at the quarterbacks that you in Superflex. Young Stroud's getting close to a possible start. The way he's putting up. Nico, you probably have as a 2 or a 3, hopefully a flex. You Tank Dell if he plays is getting looks. You might have to throw him into a flex. Thielen, in my book, he's a wide receiver 1 early 2 because he's getting everything. Chuba, Miles might play, but Chuba's taking over that backfield. And Pierce, you feel guilty that you have to play, right?
Yeah, probably ain't got too many options at this point. But with all these teams playing this week, I think there might be a possibility where you don't play Pierce. I mean, Singletary did get a good share of the work last week.
Rams versus the Cowboys. Dak versus Stafford. What stack would you feel most comfortable with? Dak and Dez or Stafford and Cup/Puka?
Well, I mean, it's pretty easy. I mean, CeeDee Lamb hasn't been very good this year. I mean, and Dak is not very good at all ever anyway. So you probably go Rams there. I mean, just because just on the wide receiver alone.
Who has more points this week, Puka or Cup?
I think probably Cup is probably a safer bet.
Daryl Henderson, top 15 running back?
I'd say no.
The resurgent Minnesota Vikings versus the terrible Green Bay Packers. The Vikings could be at 500 after this week, after the terrible start. Without Justin Jefferson, it's a total possibility. Addison, I haven't seen updates. I know he was a little dinged up though, but in this game, it's like receivers that are you're kind of like, oh, I have, but I don't really want to play. Except everybody's gonna play Addison because it was great last week and he's gotten touchdowns throughout the week. But other than Addison and Hawkinson, who in this game would you feel comfortable playing?
I don't think I feel comfortable playing anybody. I mean, Dobbs, you might start. He gets double digits more than of any of the
Watson.
other guys. So you probably go Dobbs there. Watson, I think, is injured, healthy. Who knows about that guy? So yeah, I'd probably go Dobbs. I think he's a safer bet out of the rest of them.
Cool. Oh, this is my favorite game on Sunday in my one league. Saints versus the Colts. Two running backs I was patient for. I drafted both of them on a team. So you got Kamara versus Taylor. Which one of those guys has a better game? They got Taylor running last week, but Kamara's gonna get a
I think
gajillion catches.
I think Taylor comes through with a big game here. I mean, would not surprise me if they both end up with like 20 to 25 points. I think Taylor might edge him out this week.
Mm. Um, and Gardner's better than Carr, right?
Fantasy wise, I say yeah, probably. Well, maybe NFL. No, I say fantasy wise, yes.
In a week where everybody plays, is Josh Downs a wide receiver too?
Oh, I don't know if I can do that yet.
The way he's been killing it, man.
He has been killing it, but I don't know if I can do that yet. I would like to say yes, like cool, but I don't know if I can say it yet.
Pats versus my Dolphins. My Dolphins have to win this game because the Chiefs are next week. They got to win it or else they're going to lose 3 in a row. And it's in Miami. So we're looking. Ramondre's been the talk of the week. We talked about him earlier. And I said I would start him because the Dolphins give up the points. Who has a better game? Was Mostert fool's gold before? Or does he bounce back? Or does Ramondre have a better game than Mostert?
I think this might be a game where he ends up having a big game. So I mean, who knows? I think Ramondre is going to get you like 13 points. I don't think there's any more than that. But Mostert can give you like 25. But obviously, he can also give you like 3. But I mean, Ramondre's also been known to give you like 3 as well. So you just, if you want to go higher ceiling here, you play Mostert.
Mac Jones, is he a top 15 quarterback this week and studding out like before, or is he just
No,
Mac
that's
Jones?
never going to happen. So
It's how fast the Dolphins play. Garbage time could make him better than we think he's going to be because they'll have to pass it to catch up. Jets versus the Giants, the battle of the New York. The Giants get the home field advantage in the Jets Stadium, which is hilarious. They should count as a home game for the Giants in the Jets Stadium. This is going to be a terrible game between two. It's just New York, and they want their teams to be better. Saquon, Brees Hall are really the only guys it's amazing the fall of Garrett Wilson should be almost the talk of this team, this game, because
yeah,
you're going to start Brees and Saquon. You might have got Brees later, and Saquon's been okay. Who would you rather start in that game?
I'll probably go Brees Hall. I mean, he looked really good last couple of games, but Barkley's looked rather good too overall. But I think Brees Hall have a little better of a game.
Out of curiosity, who do you think's better this year, Jonathan Taylor or Saquon Barkley? Might have a trade offer. Just curious.
If I was this, I think I go Jonathan Taylor.
Oh darn it. Okay, Garrett Wilson. Where does he fall now as far as your mind for in season rankings? Is he a wide receiver
Wide receiver
three
two.
flex
I mean,
two?
I think he's like a low end wide receiver two. Just because it's Garrett Wilson, it's hard to say he's anything other
I've
than
been
that. I
struggling with
mean,
that, but I get clobbered.
oh, it is. It's been a struggle, but I had so much faith that it's hard for me to say wide receiver three. Oh,
5-2 Jags versus the 4-2 Steelers. Trevor Lawrence or Kenny Pickett? Who has a better game? Who would have
I
thought
want
that's
to
a
say,
discussion?
I want to say Trevor Lawrence. I mean, it would surprise me if well, it would surprise me if Kenny Pickett. I just don't see Kenny Pickett having like a monster game, but I can see Trevor Lawrence having a pretty big game. Even though Trevor Lawrence has been a wee bit disappointing, man.
ETN's in the top tier right now. Did you notice, just out of curiosity, I just got Deontay Johnson off of the waiver wire?
I've seen that. I don't even.
I saw him on the waiver wire in one of our leagues. I was like, why is Deontay Johnson here? I was like, doom, dollar. It's all I got left in my budget, and nobody's noticed it because he was hidden in there. I was like, oh my
Yeah,
goodness.
I didn't notice that.
That was a steal of a year. Christian Kirk, the best scoring receiver in this game.
Yep. Until
Is
further
Calvin
notice,
Ridley
he's the
dead to
wide
you as
receiver.
well?
I don't know if he's dead. I mean, he's still got a pulse, but I mean, it's fate, man.
Okay. Falcons and the Titans. Are the Falcons the number one defense this year? With word that the Titans could go old school, like college ball, where Malik Willis and Will Levis are quarterbacking this week, off and on. I mean, that's why I think King Henry is going to be dead because they're going to play two quarterbacks. They're not going to care about those two quarterbacks. And I think Derrick Henry's going to have like they're not even going to guard the receivers. He's just going to go in the box and they're just going to hit him every time. But are the Falcons the number one defense this week?
I mean, maybe. I mean, this could go real bad. I mean, yeah, I guess it'd be worth giving a shot.
Does say Bijan plays this year and doesn't this week and doesn't have a cold still? What do you think? How much better of a week does Bijan have than Derrick Henry, or does Derrick Henry just prove us all wrong and just blow the wheels off of the Falcons?
I mean, I think I think Bijan still has a better game, but I mean, Derrick Henry's been pretty disappointing. I mean, but it's not that anybody's seen it coming, but I mean, at some point, I guess everybody's human, right?
Yep, Eagles and Commanders. I got to say, the Eagles to me, we had them before. I thought they were the best team in the NFC, but for me, they were. You're a 49ers guy, but I don't know. They're missing. There's like a meh factor in watching them play, and I can't figure out what it is. I mean, AJ Brown is killing it. Swift is okay-ish, and Hurts runs in for touchdowns, but there's a meh thing about them. But I think they're so good, I can't figure it out. But
They look good to me.
they're playing your Manders. Um, Sam Howell, how far has he dropped? We had him top 12 a week ago, and then he pooped the bed. Is he in the top 20 with every
He's
quarterback
still in the
playing?
top 20. I don't think he has a low scoring fantasy game. Not, I mean, I don't expect Sam Howell to go out here and be like, the number one guy every week. He's going to have a bad game on a bad team, but there's still hope, man. Top 20, definitely. Maybe.
Top 20. Let's see what I have here. I'll tell you if I'm following you up because I was looking at him. Sam Howell. Oh, he's at 25 for me. He'll move up here in a second. I haven't marked off Deshaun Watson yet. So, but yeah, that was really bad. Browns versus the Seahawks, 4-2 teams. How much money would we own if we said those teams would be 4-2 at this point in the season? Uh, and Jerome Ford is out with
Out.
that high ankle, well, the ankle sprain. I think did they IR him? I think they did, I believe.
I just seen out or down for it or
Um,
something. Yes, I'm not sure.
Ken Walker the third, sorry, versus the Browns defense. I was having him up in my top tier of running backs. What kind of worry do you have for him versus a decent defense, or do you think he's getting close to a? I mean, you got his starting, but I mean, I dropped him a lot this week. He's still a running back one, but by the skin of his teeth.
Yeah, I mean, I would say he's like RB 10, 11, 12
Well,
area.
yeah,
I mean, what they would surprise. I mean, it was 13. I mean, it was 60 yards and a touchdown. I mean, that's
I'll
probably
take
the
it.
floor, right? I
Hmm.
think he might get a little more than that. So, I mean, I think, yeah, I mean, low end RB1.
Okay, no, but this has. Do you think JSN has snuck in, or was that game an anomaly?
I think it was an anomaly until he's more than like the third wide receiver. Like I said, both DK and Lockett are both playing. I mean, it limits his targets, obviously.
Throw PJ Walker into all those backup quarterbacks. You got Walker, Badgett, you got possibly Darnold, you got Minshew. Where does he rank within that mess of backups that are starting at this point this year?
I'd probably say PJ Walker is last.
Worse than
PJ
Malik
Walker.
Willis.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm gonna say
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
I mean, he might have put, but I
Lost your
just think
love for
PJ
PJ Walker?
Walker is not a very good. I mean, I was all about PJ Walker in the beginning, just, but I mean, the fact that he's still starting in the NFL amazes me. He's better than I thought, but yeah, I don't think
Ravens
he's very.
Ravens at Arizona. This is another bloodbath game, I think. Are the Ravens defense could do better than the Falcons?
Ravens, yeah, it's possible.
Yeah, a story coming out. Keep an eye on Derrick Henry. The Ravens are exploring trading for Derrick Henry. How disgusting would that be? Like Derrick Henry is probably close back to RB1.
Yeah, I mean, it's possible. I mean, you
Be
never
nasty.
know what could happen. He might come to the Ravens and not be very good at all. I mean, crazier things have happened, but yeah, that sounds great.
Trey McBride, top 12 quarterback without the top 12 tight end without Zach Ertz there
I,
still.
I mean, I think so. I mean, it doesn't take much.
You're looking for something. Look, check your waivers. Trey McBride might be there, and Dalton Kincaid also will be a starting, giving more field to himself. Chiefs versus the Broncos. Last year, this game was that one game was like what 40-30. It was a high scoring, crazy, wild game. I think the Broncos took that one. What are the chances that repeats and then Russ goes bonkers and Sutton goes bonkers, Williams goes bonkers, and then the Chiefs
I don't
Rasheed
think I
White.
don't I don't think it's a very good chance.
What are the chances Taylor Swift is on TV more than Javante Williams gets carries?
Pretty much, probably 100% chance that she's there.
Okay, they say the Chiefs are 5-0 since she showed up. So there's not a lot to say there. I mean, you're probably still starting your Broncos because they do play this division, right? So you're starting the guys except Judy. Oh, I don't know, man.
I mean, it's struggle. I mean, if you can find a better replacement, yeah. I mean, that
Everybody's
wouldn't be
available this
upsetting.
week.
Yeah,
Bengals and the 49ers. Will the 49ers lose the third game?
I don't think. I mean, nah, I don't think. I think this. I think they win this. I think Sam Darnold's impressive. It looks good. I think the
Okay, Sam
49ers win.
Darnold or Joe Burrow? Is it
You
scary
know
that
what? I want to go.
I think for a second,
I want to go all in here. I want to say Sam Darnold.
Burrow's been so bad. I told my brother-in-law to trade for Joe Burrow because he got a decent trade, but I was like, he's not been great. I think he can't be bad for them, but it is a tough game against the 49ers. The receivers in the game, it's going to be Chase and then Ayuk probably are the top two, and we're worried about Higgins and Kittle pretty much, right?
Yeah, I mean, nothing's changed from any other game. You don't know if either one of them are going to show up.
Okay, Bears and the Chargers. There's a stellar game coming up. Tyler Badgett going to win his second one, or does the Chargers learn to play
I
football?
think Chargers are a little better than Tyler Badgett and the Bears. I mean,
Uh,
even though Justin Herbert's been a little bit disappointing as well.
mhm. Roshan Johnson is back on the practice field, meaning he should clear. He's not cleared the concussion protocol, but he should be playing. So keep an eye on him. That will affect all the Deonta Foreman owners, which he was my sell this week. I said sell Deonta Foreman. He just had the game of his life when he plays, but he's going to be in a crowded backfield soon, especially when Fields comes back and whatnot. Chargers have Eckler, and Josh Palmer has been balling out for Josh Palmer. He is he a Everybody's playing this week, but you got him probably on the cheap. Is he a guy that you consider a wide receiver 2 or 3?
I'd probably say low. I probably can't trust him. So you can't make him a wide receiver too. They still need to do a little more work, but I mean, there's a lot. If everybody's playing, it'd be hard to get him in there, I think.
Monday night's Raiders and the Lions. We got Aiden O'Connell, Brian Hoyer, Jimmy G, some terrible Raiders quarterback versus Jared Goff, but decent weapons on both sides of the ball. We're looking at St. Brown's a starter. You're looking, I mean, Devontae Adams got targets. Jacoby Myers got targets. You're starting all these guys, right? You have to start Adams because he's Adams, but you're starting Myers, right?
Yeah, I mean, he's pretty much the wide receiver one there in Raider. I mean, it'd be hard. It's hard for not to start him at this point. He's pretty much had a good game every week.
Jameer Gibbs have a better game or a worse game than Alvin Kamara this week?
I think not as a better game.
Ooh. And is Josh Jacobs, did you ask, is his season faux or what is
Yeah,
it?
for real.
Is this the Josh Jacobs we got or is it all over?
I, I think it's gonna be a struggle bus for him all year. It's not gonna be good.
Okay, that's our week. Good luck this week. If you have questions, pop them in there. Hopefully, we got you ready for week 8 and we stayed awake. You stayed awake? Wow, you stayed awake late, dude. You're going to need to
I
sleep in.
know
Maybe take off tomorrow. I don't know.
this went long. I was hoping for a quick one, but oh well.
You just have so much to say. It's enlightened there.
Yeah,
So give us
oh my
some wisdom
goodness.
and let's go to bed.
Where's the wisdom? So for all you dynasty players out there, it's the middle of the season. You need to decide whether you're a pretender or a contender. I mean, if you got all these older players, say somebody like a Derrick Henry and you're middling, you might want to try to get rid of him. While the knowledge of him maybe being traded, you might get a little bump in his price. So now's about the time when you got to think about that. As always, trust yourself and trust the process.